No matter the location, from O-A-K-L-A to L-V, I'm a Raider.
Raider Nation, what is going on? Before we get into today's news and rumors, if y'all ever, and I mean ever, want to hit me up on IG, I'm at Mitchell Renz 365. My DMs are open for a reason. So if you see some crazy Raiders rumors out there, you see some news, and you want a little insight, hit me up. That's why my DMs are open. So what are we going to be talking about on today's show? We're going to talk about Richard Sherman. We're going to talk about a defensive tackle that apparently the Raiders are pretty interested in. We're also going to talk about a veteran running back that might end up on this team. And I got a crazy trade idea around the Raiders and the New England Patriots featuring two of our players. So let's get into the first story here. Are the Las Vegas Raiders interested in Richard Sherman? I'm going to give this one how many Chucky heads? 3 Chucky heads. I think it's pretty likely that they're interested. Why? You've seen the connection between him and Gruden already on camera. Was it tampering? I'm not going to say it is because I don't want to get in trouble. However, according to Vincent Bonsignor, Richard Sherman is an ideal candidate, yes, ideal candidate, to lead the Raiders' young defense. Obviously, Sherman knows this Gus Bradley system well. He was played with Gus Bradley back in 2011, 2012, the Seattle Seahawks, and Gruden is looking for a player like him. What does that mean? Gruden is looking for a dude that's an alpha because I'm sorry, I have high hopes for Trayvon Mullen. I know Damon Arnett tweeted about me yesterday about people saying he wants to rap more. I hope he proves me wrong. We got young guys that need to grow up a little bit. Do we want them to play well? Yes. Do they need to get thicker skin? Yes. You know who can help them do that? Richard frickin' Sherman. Now, I don't know if he's going to be able to be that cornerback that we remember him being, that's just locked down dude, Legion of Boom. But you could put him at cornerback too, because I'd rather have him out on the football field right now than Damon Arnett. But you could also have Damon Arnett learn behind Sherman. Like, that would be amazing. He's a smart player. He's a great locker room fit. And sure, he might not know the players right now, but he's an incredibly intelligent dude who can also be a player coach out there. And if you can bring him in for a 2-year deal, dude, I'm ready. It obviously just comes down to money. So give me a Y for yes and for no here. Should the Las Vegas Raiders go out and sign Richard Sherman? If you're watching this live, we are always live Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific. The snow in Dallas, Texas couldn't slow us down, and it's not going to slow down Raider Nation either. So, Y for yes or and for no. Let's talk about the next guy here, Dalvin Tomlinson. Not Leonard Fournette, get it together. Leonard Williams, the top defensive tackle target for the Raiders. I'm going to give it 2 Chucky heads, and I'm going to say people are talking. So when I think about why this report came out, it's 2 reasons here, right? So again, this one is from Vincent Bonsignor and said Tomlinson is a player to keep an eye on out for the Raiders signing in 2021. The reason why I think this is the route here is because a lot of reports have been coming out that the Giants could potentially be making Leonard Williams the higher priority than Tomlinson, which they 100% should, right? Because Leonard Williams is the better player. However, I'm a believer that the Giants can only bring back either Tomlinson or Leonard Williams. Whoever the Giants decide to potentially not bring back or franchise tag, look for the Raiders to try to swing in there and slide in the DMs and say, hey, you want to be a member of this team. The other reason why Dalvin Tomlinson was brought up, according to Vincent Bonsignor, is because that he's a long shot to sign with Raiders. As soon as the J.J. Watt news came out, my story was 1 Chucky head, long shot to sign J.J. Watt. So maybe I should be getting some credit here or there. No, that's not how I am. Tomlinson, he is absolutely an above-average run defender. And so if you don't want to bring back Jonathan Hankins, who probably going to get $4 million a year, at least that's what he made last year, maybe that's why you go out and look for a guy like Thompson, who would be a phenomenal replacement for Jonathan Hankins. So as it stands right now, I personally want Leonard Williams, but it does sound like the Raiders have Dalvin Tomlinson on their radar for the simple fact of this. Their belief is that Leonard Williams is going to go back to the New York Giants. If he does go back to the New York Giants, look for Leonard Williams to be the top guy because he is the top guy on the free agent market, and he is the top DT. I know J.J. Watt is listed as an edge rusher on Pro Football Focus, but I don't really care. I am doing it based off how he would play with this Raiders team. He would be a defensive tackle. It's Leonard Williams, J.J. Watt, Dalvin Tomlinson, Shelby Harris. Those are my top 4 DTs in 2021. So let me know here. I asked you earlier about Richard Sherman. What about Dalvin Tomlinson? Should the Raiders go out and bring in the defensive tackle from the New York Giants? He's going to be a cheaper option than Williams, so maybe you want to spend bigger in some other areas of that defense instead of spending heavy money in Williams. That's part of the equation that I want you to think about. So should the Raiders bring in Tomlinson, type S for sign, or I want you to type P for pass. Is this the #1 Raiders show on YouTube? I wish I had Sam in my ear right now because I put this up on screen. He's like, hell yeah, it is. 4 Chucky Heads, believe it, baby. And I want every single person right now. Type 4 Chucky Heads in the comments if you agree with me that we got the #1 Raiders YouTube show. And the reason why we're the #1 show is because of y'all. Like, if you're not in the live comments right now, we're averaging over 300 comments a minute. Like, that's how lit the live show gets. But it's because of the determination. It's because of the loyalty of this fan base. And I know Pat McAfee the other day was kind of ripping on the nation. Now, the person he was ripping on, I don't want to get into him, but I don't really think he fully understands the loyalty of this fan base. So all I'm trying to do is this. I need your help, and I need you guys to back me up here, right? So if you haven't already subscribed to the Raiders Report, please do. I told my bosses that we could get to 74,000 subs by next week. I need 525 more. If it wasn't for the awesome people here at Chat Sports, I wouldn't have been able to make a show today. And I want to be able to show them that me coming into work, us having to, let's say, pay some outside people as well to make these shows possible was worth it. So have my back here. Hit that big red button that says subscribe. All right, we got 3 more rumors on today's show. Let's get into it. TB. No, not Tom Brady. This is Trent Brown. Does he want to be a New England Patriot again? You know what, man? This was really hard for me not to put 4 Chucky Heads, believe it, baby. But I'm going to give it 3 Chucky Heads because I can't 100% verify it. And the way that I would 100% verify it is by me asking Trent Brown himself, and he ignores all my DMs, and I'd be like, hey, man, do you want to be a Patriot? However, I'm going to take the actions that I've seen this dude do, and I'm going to see the actions that I've also been given in terms of DMs. So, Brown, okay, I got some interesting pictures here that I want to walk you through. This is the first one that ended up happening. Trent Brown was asked by, as you guys can see on Instagram, a New England Patriots account that said, Trent, you want to come back to the New England Patriots? He liked it. I don't know about you, when I like something, it probably means that I want it to happen. Here's a video that Trent recently posted, okay? Mind you, he has literally deleted everything Raiders related on all social media. Here's a video of him holding a Lombardi trophy. It's him at the Super Bowl with who? The New England Patriots. What's his most recent picture on Instagram? It's a workout vid, and as you can see, the t-shirt is a Boston logo, Red Sox, and the hat also says Boston. I know this for a fact. This is 4 Chucky Heads. This dude doesn't want to be a Raider. And I want him off this football team because he's an absolute cancer in the locker room, and he's an absolute cancer for the younger players that you have on this team. Like, we talk about how young this team is. We talk about knock on wood if you're with me. He's clearly not with it. And if you're saying out there, oh, they're just pictures, my point is this. Be smarter then, because your contract is easily to get out of. And if you do want to convince me that you want to be a Las Vegas Raider, I almost said Oakland, don't be liking that you want to go back to the Patriots. Don't be posting stuff, everything New England based. Don't be posting Boston sports related. I don't want that shit. I want you to show me that you want to be in Vegas, and I want you to show me in Raider Nation that you want to be a Raider, because that's what we want. We don't want the Trent Brown that doesn't get on the football field that's reportedly 400 pounds. I want the dude that we paid for, the guy that is worth all the money being one of the best right tackles in the league, and that's not what the Raiders have gotten. Also, I updated the weight here. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed this player card. I put it at 400 pounds. All right, let's go here to the next story. It's around the Patriots being interested in Marcus Mariota. And this is, again, I'm going to give it 3 Chucky Heads. I'm going to say it's pretty likely. Just because I think it's pretty likely, that does not mean that they are going to trade for him. However, if nobody trades for Mariota and he becomes a free agent, I am a strong believer that it's going to be the Patriots and the Washington football team. Those are going to be the top 2 teams that go after him. So according to a report from Nesson, okay, that it's Nesson, it's been NBC Sports, it's been almost every single sports outlet out there that has said the New England Patriots are at least a little bit interested in trading for Marcus Mariota. Now, if you trade him, you end up saving $11.35 million. So for every Raider fan out there that's like, oh, we need to keep him, the only way I want to keep him is if you restructure his contract. If you can restructure the contract to where he makes maybe like $3.5 million, $4 million for a backup quarterback, I'm on board. The issue is that's just not what you're going to get. So I was thinking this. I'm like, okay, if Trent Brown wants to take his sorry booty to New England, And if Marcus Mariota is getting some actual trade interest, I'm going to throw you a trade idea up on screen, and I'm honestly genuinely curious what you guys think about this, right? Because any single time we talk about trades, I'm always amazed on how grossly overpriced y'all think some of our players are, and I get it. They're Raider players. You think that they're, amazing, and you always have their side. Like, that's fine. The other reason why I do this show is not just to do Raiders rumors and news, but it's also to educate people and to make people understand that just because Trent Brown is supposed to be good, $14 million for him isn't attractive. Just because Marcus Mariota is good, $11 million really is not attractive for him. So, if the Raiders could trade both Marcus Mariota and Trent Brown and get a third-round pick back, would you do it? Would you make this trade? I want you to type M for make it, type D for don't. I'm looking at the live chat right now. People are saying it's not enough. Don't make it. Here's the issue. I don't think you get anything for Trent Brown because there's not going to be a single NFL team out there that makes the move for him. And I don't know if you're going to make the move for Marcus Mariota. So this is what I'm saying to you. If you can end up getting anything, and I mean any kind of draft capital, you do it. Because if you don't take the draft capital, then you just cut them, and then you get literally nothing in return. So if the New England Patriots right now were to offer this deal, I would at least think about it. And you would have to at least think about making it, because if you can get a third-round pick, that's better than getting absolutely nothing. Now, that might be a hard thing to be able to just realize and deal with. That's all good. If you want to talk to me more about that trade idea that I just threw up there, if you see some other crazy trade ideas out there on the internet, like, I mean it. Like, I go on my Instagram literally every single night, probably an hour, sometimes 2 hours. Like Sam said, while you're sitting on the toilet. You know what? Sometimes. That's part of it. I mean, so if you got to answer a DM or two, that's what it's all about, dropping a two. Seriously, though, I have the Instagram account for a reason. I want to be able to get to know y'all better, and I want to be able to bounce our ideas off each other. Like, just because you see a crazy idea out on the internet doesn't mean I don't care about you. So hit me up, Mitchell Renz 365. Let's talk about the last story here. Gruden, will he target Peterson? Not Patrick Peterson. This one's Adrian Peterson. So I'm going to give this one two chalky heads. People are talking. And the person that's talking on Twitter, it's Raiders Beat. So I like Raiders Beat, and I know it's not run by some people that think it's run by another guy. I know who runs it. So the report out there right now is that Peterson wants to play until he's 40 years old. Raiders Beat went on Twitter and said Gruden won't be able to help himself. Now, there's some sarcasm in that, but there's also not. So back, I believe, a year or two ago, there was multiple reports out there that John Gruden was interested in bringing in Adrian Peterson to the Raiders' backfield. Now, Devonta Booker, he's a free agent in 2021. I'm a believer that the Raiders move on from Jalen Richard. So who's going to be that backup running back? Could it be Adrian Peterson? It could be. I mean, if you're telling me right now I can get AD, yes, it's AD, on a contract for a 1 year, again, prove it type of deal where he's making about $1 million, maybe $2 million a year, sure, I would at least think about it a little bit. And John Gruden is going to think about it a little bit. Because if you're spending all this money on defense, why not try to go a cheaper route? Now, if Peterson wants more than $3 million, $2.5 million, sorry, I'm out. I'm just not interested because I'm not going to pay that type of money for a backup running back. So, with Devontae Booker being a free agent, with us having a great fullback like we do in Ingold, Jalen Richard probably out, Theo Riddick probably not coming back, the amount of money is a really big determinant here on what you're really going to be able to figure out and do with a player like Adrian Peterson. So, type your votes in here. Should LV go bring in AD? Type yay, or I want you to type yay. Or wait, yay or nay? The only way I'm typing yay is if you can get him for under $2 million, right? I'm going to type nay if they don't want him. And the other way that I would end up typing nay is simply because if he just wants just way too much money, which he might, right? So it really comes down to price. Like, that's the bottom line I am trying to make to y'all here. If you're going out and signing Peterson, it literally just comes down to price. I mean, if you're telling me he's going to give me 7 touchdowns again, maybe you could convince me to pay a few extra bucks. Here's the issue. If I'm going to spend just a little bit more dollars and just a little bit more cents at the running back position, at the backup, the guy that I would rather have, the veteran running back that I personally would rather the Raiders go out and get, it's Mark Ingram. Because to me, Mark Ingram is not only still can get it done, 31 years old, everywhere he goes, all his teammates rant and rave about how great of a teammate he is and how great of a player he is and how hard he makes people work. Plus, I'm not going to make the Alabama connection. I see it a lot. But Ingram can also put a guy like Jacobs underneath his wing where when Ingram first came out, he struggled. And then he ended up getting his second life in New Orleans and really started to, we'll say, ramp up his career. If he can put Jacobs underneath his wing and say, hey, this is what worked for me, this is what didn't work for me, that's what I want to be able to see. And that's the type of running back that I want to bring in. Now, does that mean they're going to bring in a running back in free agency? No. I'd actually probably rather them just go in the draft and get somebody even cheaper. But if Gruden's determined to bring in a veteran, which would not surprise any of us here, I would rather have Mark Ingram than Adrian Peterson.